Okay, next. So I'll start off with a peacock blue, and yes, indeed, in tiny little letters, there's a PG7, which is P for pigment, G for green, 7 for the number 7, which I think is one of the thalos greens. Probably blue shade, but not positive. And then PB15. As you said, I'll often see it as 15 colon. So sometimes it probably is that. I'm not positive. And sometimes manufacturers put in only information that they feel like putting in. Sometimes it's more than you might want, sometimes less. But either way, I can tell that it's definitely the green, leaning towards green. So let's see, that said, let's put on another layer here for the peacock blue. Starting to get pretty concentrated. And the more concentrated and creamy the paint mixture, by definition, the less water there is in the mix to help it flow and move around. So by the time you're getting to really thick layers, thick mixes, intensely strong mixes, it can be kind of tricky to like I say, have it flow, to mix in enough water to make it flow on the paper like I want it to help make these clean washes, which is, now that I think about it, sort of another reason why I like sort of sneaking up and building up in layers. So it will eventually get definitely as dark as well, that's a longer conversation. Here, look at me. I'm tipping it this way, wondering to myself, I wonder how far this will go. And indeed, I'll take this as an opportunity. It's drying up here, but I can tell it's drying at some really different rates. So I'm going to bring in a little bit more. I'm going to flip it upside down and bring in a little bit more paint here. It was drying up too much there, so that the paint stopped moving. It needs to be enough water for things to move around, but it's still only gonna go where I've made a clear distinction boundary between what part of that shape is wet and what part is not. Dabbing in a little bit more. It's coming. There's plenty of paint in here and it wants to come out, so it's not going to be a sponge and soak up paint. It probably has. That would probably dry fine, but I think I'll just make a thirsty brush and come along there like that. Nice. Okay. Over to the Grumbacher. The Grumbacher is definitely going to have a wider range capacity. Interesting though, as it is building up, at least on this paper, I feel like it's losing some of its greenness. This might be a situation where I'm trying to simplify and just have one color that functions in this roll, one paint. But who knows, maybe it's going to be that I like these just slightly different enough in different scenarios to keep both of them around. Like I'm sure I've mentioned, tilting the paper around over here, will obviously affect any shape that's anywhere else that's still not all the way dry. So that can start getting a little tricky. I think I'll let those dry. I'm kind of thinking about, the darkness, how intense things are getting, knowing that this one is going to be able to get eventually darker than this one, so we'll see. But that's great for now.